Audio test 1, 2. Audio test 1, 2. Audio test 1, 2. All right. By my time, it's 7:28, and I would like to kind of get started. I see there are about 3 people in the house. Dubs, dollars. Yes, we're just starting. You are here pretty early, actually. The live streams usually start at 7:30. Alright guys, if you're already in the house, just smash the like button, okay? Helps with the engagement, keeps everything flowing, keeps everything going. Smash the like button. Today we're going to be talking about using Genspark to handle the administrative pain that most small businesses will face while bidding on government contracts, be it federal or state. I have also been talking to business owners who have been able to use my strategies for grants as well. So there is an opportunity in that market as well. Today we're going to be using Genspark as the AI tool, but I want you to always remember that these are simply tools. You need to have a method of using them. I know that I go through all the tools, but I highly suggest that you find a tool that you learn how to use very well. And as far as what you're doing is content generation, in this particular industry, these AI tools will be able to handle those tasks with ease. Okay, let's get into what we have for today. It's 7:30 at my time. Today we're going to be talking about some AI GovCon solutions to administrative pain, administrative burden, typically involved in the process of bidding on government contracts. By the way, can you just throw an AI in the chat if you have used any artificial intelligence tools to submit a bid? Just throw AI in the chat. I kind of want to know. And if you have not, throw a 2 in the chat. You've never done it before. Throw a 2 in the chat. If you have, throw an AI in the chat. Let me get in and know who's in the house. You've never done it before. Throw a 2 in the chat. Because today we're going to be talking about how to handle these admin problems that most general contractors will face. We're going to be showing you how to solve them live. The point of these Tuesday lives is really to get into that nitty-gritty work of breaking down different contracts and you kind of seeing the method. The repetition is intentional because in order for you to get this, you have to do it over and over again. So I don't see anything in the chat. Have you ever written a proposal with AI? Let me see some responses in the chat if you have. If you have not, I would also like to know. But when I talk about Genspark, guys, Genspark is an AI tool that actually contains a few features like a super agent that would actually help you to complete tasks, an AI slides agent that will create slides for your presentations, an image studio that will generate images, video generation as well, prompt to video, deep research. These are some of the features that come with Genspark. And depending on the kind of work you're doing, one of these will definitely be the right tool. And we're going to be using it today for content generation in government contracting. This session, we're going to cover breaking down complex government contracts. We're also going to look at finding qualified subcontractors quickly, because Genspark would actually be able to go and search the internet for companies that suit the criteria that you're looking for. And we're going to talk about writing and formatting winning responses without getting overwhelmed. If you think about it properly, you will find that most of the tasks in the bidding process, especially as a middleman, is administrative in nature. I remember having a client of mine who had sent out a subcontractor for a job, and the representatives on the government side had the subcontractor performing more work than what was initially agreed upon in the contract. So after the incident, we decided to put a change order together. A change order. It's simply a document letting them know the agreement that was initially on ground and the demands that we ended up seeing. The change order came back to us rejected. But the point is that change order is just a document, another administrative document. If you are talking to a subcontractor and you're sending emails back and forth, the phone is the highest leverage contact point. But most of the time, you're having emails going back and forth. It's administrative. I'm telling you that you find an AI tool that helps you to handle these administrative burdens, and you'll be able to submit more contracts. And think about this. We used to have this problem with formatting documents. Today, I'm going to show you how that problem will be solved, because formatting your documents is really important, making it look professional. Some people have the skill, some people are able to do this, while others are a bit confused about margins, paragraphs, and page numbers. So now you can do all of that formatting with simple prompts, which I'm going to show you today. So the problems, again, the contract gauntlet. Government contracts are dense and full of traps. Genspark uses AI to simplify the terms, highlight key points, and turn legal chaos into a checklist. If you've ever gone through a government contract, you would have seen that it's very dense. It contains a lot of information that's often confusing. What you want to do with these AI tools, whether it's Genspark or it's ChatGPT or Grok, you want to simplify that language to make sure that you do not miss anything in plain sight. Second thing is finding subcontractors. When it comes down to subcontractors, especially when you're coming in as a middleman, you want to have options. You want to have a prospecting system. And this prospecting system, you're going to have to generate leads. Okay, so that is embedded in the government contracting process. Lead generation. Say, for example, you are working on a waste management contract and you want to rent porta potties in Houston, and you are looking for companies that you could possibly partner with, not companies that are currently bidding on the contract or trying to take it away from you, companies that are looking to possibly work for the government, but they have that problem with communicating their competence on paper, handling the paperwork. That's where you come in as the value add, because you have the ability to use these AI tools to handle the paperwork. The paperwork is not a problem to you because you are skilled with handling them. So you come in with that proposition and you say, hey, listen, there's this government contract. You guys are a perfect fit. You have the capacity. You have the manpower. I'm going to position you as the solution to the government's problem on paper. And that's what you're going to do. But you need a prospecting system so you can have a list of subcontractors that you can continuously engage, and not depending on a friend that, he owns multiple businesses, he's going to help me with the quote. What you want to be able to do is generate leads and proactively reach out to them. So that's the subcontractor part. Time kills deals. We'll show you how to find reliable, qualified subcontractors in any state fast using intelligent search tools. And then the proposal gridlock. Let's say you have handled the first three problems. Let's say you were able to get through the contracting gauntlet. You were able to break it down. You understand what the contract is about. And then you were able to get through the second problem, which is the subcontractor scramble. You were able to find a sub that is willing and that is responsive, and you're in a good position. But now it's time for you to communicate that information on paper to the contracting officer, and you have to put the proposal together. You have to put together a submission. It's also a point to note that in some government contracts, you don't need a complete proposal to be put together. It's important that you are only submitting what the government is asking for. So I'm also going to show you that when you use Genspark with some specific prompts, you will be able to find out the submission requirements. You have the ability to outline the exact documents that would need to be submitted. So you would find out if you need to have a full-on submission, or are there certain forms that came with the contract that the government require you to fill out. So this is something we're going to also be looking at. And why does this even matter? Well, if you're able to submit more bids, you're going to give yourself a higher chance of winning a contract. And if you have better tools in your tool set, you're not going to get burnt out. So this is important, especially with the tool set part of it. You want to have great tools that you can use continuously in a systematic way. And not only can you use it, but you can also train someone else to use it. You we can duplicate that skill. This is kind of what I focus on when it comes down to AI in government contracting. So faster workflows equal stronger margins. Genspark turns general contractors into consistent bidders. That's all just some, fluffy stuff. But we're going to be getting into more of the demo. Let's see what I have for you. So this is what I have for you today. We are going to start by finding a contract to break down on SAM search. So this is important. I use SAM search to search for my contracts because one, the interface is so much better. It breaks down those contracts into simple summaries, into simple language. It also gives me a list of subcontractors. It also allows me to see the contracts that were awarded in the past. So that one tool has so much functionality, and we are going to be going through SAM search today. But then after we get the documents from SAM search, although let me give you this disclaimer, SAM search has the ability to break down contracts very easily and even put together proposals. And you can also use SAM search to track your activity, track your contracting activity. So all that functionality is in SAM search. However, today I'm focusing on Genspark because I'm testing all the tools and presenting this on this channel. So we're going to use Genspark to also find possible subcontractors. This part is also really important because you want to be able to use the search feature to find subcontractors that you can proactively engage. We're also going to use Genspark to break down the PDF being the solicitation or the performance work statement or statement of work. We're going to upload that contract or that PDF into Genspark. We're going to analyze key sections and we're going to extract important data. Then writing and formatting proposals. I also want to be clear, like writing the proposal, when I say that, what I mean is delivering the content of the proposal. The content of the proposal. When I talk about formatting the proposal, what I am referring to is how it comes across. Does it have a cover page? Does it have page numbers? Are the margins right? Is it paragraphed properly? These are the things that I'm referring to when I talk about formatting. And can you just throw a 1 in the chat if at this point you are still following, we're still communicating? Can I just see a 1 in the chat? No one has spoken to me today. See a 1 in the chat if we are communicating here. By the way, guys, when we started, we're about 3 people. Now we have about 10 people in the house. Just smash the like button. If this video gives you value, smash the like button. Oh, there we go. We see someone. Dr. Robbins, welcome. When it comes down to the proposal, we want to draft the proposal content, format, document professionally, review and edit. By the way, when I talk about drafting the proposal content, this is one of my beliefs. I do not really believe in having one prompt that writes out the entire proposal. I think that is not the best way to go about it. When I talk about drafting proposal content, what I mean is you're going to craft part by part, whether it's the executive summaries, the technical proposal. You're going to put it together part by part until you're satisfied, and then you move on to the next. If you have the idea in mind that you're going to use one prompt and it's going to write out the entire thing, let's say you have a 6-section write-up, you're not going to get the best results. That's my piece of advice there. So that's what we're going to be looking at. But guys, I talk about this all the time. There are two ways. You can either, when it comes down to ChatGPT, there are two ways you can go about using it. You can either use prompts to navigate. I have an ebook, Government Contracting Without Tears. I lay down the entire strategy that I teach on this channel. You can get this in the inner circle. But if you want to use ChatGPT and train a GPT based on a knowledge base, based on a repeatable system, it's either you train your own GPT or you use the AI GovCon proposal builder. You can get this in the inner circle. But if you are ready to move on to a demo, just throw a demo in the chat. Let's get like 3 demos in the chat and I will move on to the demo. Let me get a demo in the chat. Let me get a demo in the chat and then we move on to demo. Okay, we got 1 demo in the chat. Demo. Guys, smash the like button. I see only 2 likes. Let's get the likes up and let me see a demo in the chat, and we're going to move on to our SAM search. We got 1 demo in the chat. I just need to see 2 more. Get a demo in the chat. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is SAM search. We're going to go through SAM search. If you want to get a SAM search account, these are the current monthly prices for the SAM search account. If you want to get a SAM search account with a discount, you can use the code Godwin25. That's going to give you a 3-month discount on SAM search. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at contracting waste management. Now, this is the beauty of SAM search right here. Everything is broken down. It's AI powered search. It's broken down into simple language so that at a glance you know exactly what you are looking at. You know exactly what you're working with. The Department of Interior's National Park Service has issued a pre-solicitation notice for the Skate Solid Service Refuge collection, with a submission deadline of April 11th. Now, we know that April 11th is past. One thing you want to do is you want to use the filters to your advantage. We only want contracts that are due in the next 30 days. Okay, now that we have contracts that are due in the next 30 days, or at least it goes as far back, you see here we have when it's due, you see when it was posted. These are very important to see at a glance. You know, oh, in the next 6 days this is due, and you can save this and you're going to get email reminders to get the job done on that contract, all from this platform. So let's see what we're looking at. The Marine Corps Installation East Waste Management Services. The Marine Corps Installation East is seeking bids for waste management services, including the rental and servicing of portable toilets, hand washing stations, and 250-gallon grey water tanks. Interested bidders must submit their quotes via email. Let's look at what this is all about. Okay, so this is interesting. Again, the interface of SAM-Search is fantastic. We have a smart summary right in front of us, the title of the contract. We can generate a proposal, we can ask SAM-Search a question, and we can start a journey. What does starting a journey mean? This is actually a new feature. If you click on start a journey, what's going to happen is that this contract is going to be added to your journey tab like this. So you're assessing the contract. Now you can see it right here on your journey tab, and you can move it from assessment to in progress to submitted to one, just in accordance to what is actually going on in the contract. Another fantastic feature about SAM-Search is that when you click on this contract, within the contract there's a journey as well. If you click on task, you're able to create a new task. Let's say, well, on this contract, I have to draft a proposal. So, almost done. We need to get more info for past performance, for example. And the priority, because the contract is due in the next few days, it's high priority. Pick the due date. Okay, I need this done by Thursday the 8th. And okay, this is to do. Let's go create. What you've done now within the contract, and I hope this is being communicated clearly. Not only do you have a tracker in the platform, but within the contract that you're working on, you can then create another journey. So we're going to move this from draft to in progress to done. So it's very similar to like Trello. But let's go back to the overview, because what we really want to do here is use Genspark to break down this contract. I was just showing you that within SAM-Search, there's so much value that you can get without having to go into sam.gov. If you want a discount on this platform, you can use the code Godwin25. It's going to work perfectly to give you 25% off the first 3 months. Okay, let's go. Now, here we have the documents. It's just one attachment. So I'm going to download this document. And I'm going to open Genspark. Now, when I'm using Genspark, typically using the super agent, I'm going to throw this. Okay. So one important thing about Genspark is that you cannot drag. Say when you've downloaded a document, you can't drag that document into the chat. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have to click on this safety pin icon and attach the document. I'm also going to open the beginner-friendly solicitation breakdown guide, because it lays down the prompts in a way that is specific, it's clear, and it has a bit of context. So the first prompt is provide the title, agency, and the summary of the solicitation. Now, you may not need this after you've just gone through SAM-Search, literally, and we've seen all of this. But I'm assuming that you do not have SAM-Search, and you downloaded this document from sam.gov, and you are using Genspark to break it down. So right now, it's doing what it can. It says, I'll analyze the PDF solicitation document for you. Let me examine the details with the crawler tool to understand the content and extract the key information you requested. So now it says I need to examine the complete document to provide a comprehensive analysis of the solicitation. Let me use the Summarize Large Document tool to extract the key information. And then it goes on to say, let me get more specific details about the timeline, key dates, and contract period information. And I just love reading these thoughts and seeing how it's going through the process. It's very interesting. It says, let's also understand the evaluation criteria and any small business requirements. So it says, based on the solicitation, see now it's done thinking, and it says, based on the comprehensive analysis of the solicitation document, here's the summary of the key information. So solicitation summary: portable toilet rental services for the Marine Corps installation. One of the great things about using these AI tools while being a general contractor or middleman for the government is that you can break these contract information into simple language that helps you to get the information that you need immediately, meaning that you're going to make decisions quickly. What we're looking at right now is a 10,000 feet view on what this contract is about. So let's go through it. It's a solicitation for portable toilet rental services for the Marine Corps installation. Solicitation contract order for commercial items. It's an RFQ, so request for quote. Okay. Solicitation number is right there. Marine Corps Field Contracting Systems. You always want to read line by line. This request for quote is a firm fixed price requirement contract for the rental and servicing of portable toilets, hand washing stations, and grey water tanks to support marine training at various installations in North Carolina. The contract will include a base year and 4 option years with an overall maximum duration of 66 months. It gives you all the key dates. The issuing date was the 1st of May. The offer due date is the 23rd of May. Questions are due by the 13th of May. And this is the period of performance. You have this information crystal clear right in front of you. Scope of work. The contractor must provide what? Portable toilets. Estimated 444 units with a minimum of 40-gallon tank capacity. This is big. 444 units. Hand washing stations. Estimated 100 units. Minimum of 200 gallons capacity for both clean water and grey water. Grey water tanks, estimated 60 units, 250 gallon minimum capacity. Daily rental services, estimated 251,850 rental days per year. Very interesting. But you can see that this information is detailed. Like I say, the government, they're very detailed about what they want, and that's what you want to pay the most attention to. Service would include delivery, setup, bi-weekly servicing every other day except holidays, and removal at contract end. All equipment must be delivered to locations within 60 miles of Marine Corps base camp. So you can see that the information has been laid out. Unlike ChatGPT, I'll say one thing I've seen a difference is ChatGPT will give me the exact thing I wanted, which was, title, agency, summary of the solicitation. But here, we went on to the scope of work. We went on to the contract requirements. I'll tell you for a fact that ChatGPT will only give you what you want. But I'm Nigerian, so they call this oversabi. That's what's happening here. Genspark is doing oversabi, which essentially means that it's doing too much. But that's not a bad thing as far as it's giving us the correct information in the PDF. I'm absolutely fine with that. Okay, scope of work. It says portable toilets, estimated rentals. Now, let's find out what the contract requirement. All equipment must meet detailed specifications. Anti-skid flooring, toilet tissue dispensers, and hand sanitizer dispensers. Equipment must have contractor ID markings, name, phone number, serial number. Service must occur every other day, excluding government holidays. So we've seen a lot of this already. Again, they're very clear about what they want. All waste must be disposed of based on compliance with federal, state, and local regulations. Acquisition type and set aside. 100% small business set aside. Fantastic. Size standard. So typically the size standard would either be revenue or employee headcount. If you're making under $9 million on an annual basis, you qualify for this contract. And these are the eligible businesses. So evaluation criteria: price, unit prices, extended amount per line item, and overall total. Past performance. Do you see how under evaluation criteria we only have two things? And when you really think about it, on a contract like this, it's not really complicated. It's a rental, right? It's a rental. So it's looking for the best price. And have you done this before? Because this is a pretty large contract. The government intends to award without discussing, but reserves the right to engage in discussion if necessary. The intention here is to award without discussing. Required submission: price proposal, past performance references, completed representations and certs. Excuse me. Cage code, proof of FedMall registration. Okay, check this out. Ordering procedures. FedMall will be the primary means of issuing orders against the contract. The contractor must accept delivery orders within 1 business day of issuance. All orders are fill or kill, with no partial fills or back order permitted. The comprehensive solicitation provides detailed requirements for sanitation services for support on the Marine Corps. Okay, this is great. So with that one prompt, we've actually really broken this contract down. But let's say, I really want to get more information about the submission instructions. That's kind of what I want to focus on right now. And I'm going to go back to the beginner-friendly solicitation breakdown guide, and I will grab the prompt that says, what is the deadline for submission? And how should the proposal be formatted and delivered? Okay, so based on the solicitation document, here are the specific details regarding the submission deadline, formatting, and delivery method. Okay, so we have a clear email. We have a maximum file size, no larger than 2 MB. Okay, make sure you convert to PDF. That's how you achieve those numbers. Now, proposal, format, requirements, price. You see how price just stands as the first thing? One thing I'll tell you from breaking down hundreds of contracts, whatever the priority of that contract is usually going to stand out as the first thing. Sometimes I see technical, sometimes I see past performance. So here we have price, past performance, and required forms and certification. So completed FAR provisions, all this you can get from your SAM.gov account. So additional information. The question and answer period closes. So some more of that information, but let's say, you know what? We've used Genspark to break down the contract. You see, I said I'm going to show you how to use it to break down the contract. We're using specific prompts to get us information. Genspark actually gives us so much more than what we ask for, which is not a problem at all. What is FedMall? Explain this to me like a 5-year-old. when you're in privacy of your office and you come across something that you do not understand in the contract, there is no need to feel embarrassed. No one is going to see your prompts. You can always ask. You can ask it to take down the language to 5th grade language, 2nd grade language. But let's see how it explained this. What is FedMall? Explained simply. FedMall is an online shopping website, but it's special because it's only for the government and approved businesses. FedMall, in simple terms, imagine you have a toy store that only lets certain people shop there. That's what FedMall is, but for the military and government. So you see, very simple explanation. Here is how it works. It's an online store, special access required. It's explaining the same thing. Government shopping lists, items with rules. Everything sold here has to follow government rules and standards. So again, these tools help you to answer questions in real time, give you solutions in real time. But what if we want to find some, subcontractors? The first method I want to try to spell out here is to create a Google Boolean string. Or a Boolean string, not Google Boolean string. The Boolean string can be used on Google. Okay, so this is my thought here. Create a Boolean string to find companies that can fulfill this contract and are within a 60-mile radius of the site. So I'm looking to create a Boolean string. Okay, so you can use these Boolean strings on LinkedIn, on some industry directories, government databases, but let's see how extensive this is. This is a lot. Home septic, residential, or portable toilet services. Wow, I don't see this working, to be honest, because unless we use these individually. No. Okay, so I have to test it though, but I can ask Genspark. Use this to create a prospecting list. Use this to create a prospecting list with email, phone, and company URL. I would like about 25. I'm going to paste the Boolean strings. I see a question. What AI tool is being used? ChatGPT? So no, the AI tool that's currently being used is Genspark. Okay, so what's happening right now is Genspark is finding those companies and it's creating a prospecting list for me. And it even gives me the name of the contact person. But you see, in some instances, there's no email available. But we have a URL. So let's see, it's going to try to draw out about 25. And it did. But again, look, there's no perfect system. Just keep this in mind. There's never a perfect system. We have like royal restrooms. There's no phone number. There's no email. But we do have a URL. So I would like to see what's in this URL. And possibly this company may not even be viable. And possibly they are. But that's why you always want to check. If you don't get the contact information on the first go, you can use the URL. So I'm going to share my screen, my entire screen, so you can get more visibility. So check this out. Royal restrooms. No phone, no email, no contact person. But when I go into the website, check this out. Possibly a fit, maybe not. Given the kind of restrooms I'm seeing, I don't think they have the volume. Maybe, I'm just guessing. But you're able to request a quote. This is solving the problem of prospecting. It's even faster than like the Google Boolean search, where you put the Boolean strings into Google. Here you have everything at your fingertips. But let's see. This is just one website. Let's see what we have going on. Porta potty dogs. We have a phone number. We have no contact person. But once you have a URL, as far as that URL is active, that website is active, you're going to get the information that you need. So now you don't have to depend on your friend from college who owns multiple businesses and he's a really successful guy. I've heard this so many times where, like, how are you getting your quotes? It's always something like, oh, I have this guy, he's a great networker. No, you're going to proactively create your own prospecting list and begin to engage the subcontractors that would possibly want to partner with you. So I'm just going to try out one more to see if we are aligned. But you can see just immediately you have a list of people you can target and you can begin to go after. Now, I'm going to just talk to Genspark. Let's have a heart to heart. This seems to be a big contract. What would the industry standard pricing sheet look like if you had 10 years of experience in this? Okay, so it says based on industry knowledge and what would be typical for a contractor with 10 years of experience in the portable sanitation industry, here's what a standard pricing sheet might look like for a contract of this magnitude. We have service daily rate, weekly rate, monthly rate, annual rate. Standard porta potty toilet, $85 to $100. Standard porta potty toilet rentals, $3 to $5 per day. Now, how do we verify a lot of these numbers? But just going in, you can see gray water tanks, so 250 gallons. I'm going to ask it to create a price proposal for me to know what that may look like according to the contracting officer's requirements. Okay, so price proposal for solicitation, and it's going to kind of show me what this would look like, proposal ready, right? So the first thing it starts with is base year, from the 10th of June 2025 to the 9th of June 2026. Portable toilet rentals include delivery, pickup, setup, portable hand washing stations, 250-gallon gray water tanks, daily rental fee. So this is cool. Let's see what this, so each unit, 85, 75, 110 for the amount of time. This is almost $1 million contract. This is almost $1 million contract. Option year 1. So this gives you an idea. I'm not saying that this is what you're going to submit. I'm not saying that this is the correct thing and this is the winner. If in the past you were stuck on what it would be like for you to create a price sheet, If in the past you didn't have an idea of how you would even understand a contract like this is almost $1 million contract and it would extend to $1 million, and it's very specific on what it wants. What we have done here in under an hour, we've been able to break down the solicitation. We've been able to find possible subcontractors, about 25 of them, that we can begin to make calls, we can begin to ask for quotes. And now we are doing some pricing and trying to get an idea of truly the scale of this contract, even before talking to a subcontractor about what the pricing is like right now. And as you can see, it progressively, okay, by the way, if you remember, this was meant to be a fixed price contract. So I'm going to remind Genspark that this is a fixed price contract. Think like a general contractor. And let's examine a price strategy. And I'm going to try to speak as casually as possible so we don't end up in the red on this contract. What would that look like? Okay, so strategic pricing for fixed price. So when approaching this fixed price contract as a general contractor with extensive experience, we need to develop a comprehensive pricing strategy that protects profit margins while remaining competitive. Here's a strategic approach to ensure we don't end up in the red. So you see how he uses my language as well. So what are we going to do? Cost elements, equipment depreciation, so standard toilets, hand washing station. So total direct monthly cost, direct breakdown cost per month, risk factor for price into contracts, 8% buffer on transport cost, 12% buffer on labor cost, 10% buffer on consumables, 15% buffer on high use equipment, 5% buffer or contingency for hurricane season servicing challenge, 7% on labor hours for wait times and at checkpoints. So these are buffers. Strategic pricing calculation, pricing strategy to avoid going into the red. So front load where possible. Pricing approach, charge higher rates for delivery, setup, and initial placement. Strategy, this secures early revenue and offsets initial capital outlay. Implementation, charge $120 per standard toilet setup versus market rate of $85 to $100. So you see, it's laying out a strategy for you. If in the past you had no clue how you would even get to a point of like pricing a fixed price contract, now ideas are going to start rolling automatically. Volume discount strategy. Minimal discounting despite large volume. Apply only 12 to 15% volume discount instead of industry standard 20 to 25%. Military-based requirements create additional service complexity. So that's your justification. And it goes on, it lays out a strategy, and as you can see, it's thinking like a consultant, and it can be your consultant. But I want to move on to creating the proposal. What would a strong proposal look like for my company, ABC Ltd? Alright guys, let me see what's going on in the chat. I'm the best. Wow, thank you. Let's see. Can you throw a one in the chat if you are, like, if you're really seeing, like, if Genspark, for example, if you think that this is a freaking great tool. Can you just throw one in the chat? Let me see who's actually in the house with me today. Throw one in the chat if this is just a fantastic tool. By the way, it's breaking down what a good proposal will look like, what a strong proposal will look like. And again, what it has done here is, it's writing everything all at once, which is not really my style. But let's see what we have here. Solicitation, portable toilets, hand washing stations, and grey water tanks. Okay, executive summary. ABC Ltd is pleased to submit our proposal for solicitation number there, for the rental and servicing of portable toilets, hand washing stations, and grey water tanks to support marine training at various installations within a 60-mile radius of the Marine Corps base. So see how it adds that little information there that honestly is very irrelevant, but the reason that information is there is because I had inserted a prompt saying that I only wanted companies within a 60-mile radius. Now I can spot these little things. ChatGPT doesn't make these little mistakes. Okay, so with 12 years of experience serving Eastern North Carolina sanitation needs, including 8 years supporting military training operations, ABC Ltd has the resources, expertise, and proven track record to meet all requirements. Okay, so wherever this came from, and you see, for me, at least at the point where I am right now, I don't usually like to use an open chat to write out a proposal. I prefer to use like the AI GovCon proposal builder because it's trained. Now, some of the information that's coming out here is like obviously hallucination. I didn't give it any prior background information. But you see, the AI GovCon proposal builder will start by asking you screening questions to get the information about your company, about the contract, before it starts to write the proposal. So for me, that's one of the benefits that I get to enjoy. But you see, one of the issues with writing the entire proposal in one jump is that you lack the detail. Right now, your executive summary is about 3 paragraphs. If you could call that first and second a paragraph, it's a sentence. And it's not detailed, it doesn't speak to light. But what I'm showing you today is that these tools can help you get really far. It's just been under an hour, to be honest. And what we've been able to understand, the amount of information we've had the ability to glean from this contract in this amount of time it's almost a miracle. I remember watching a video, and a lady who won a contract was talking about how it took her 3 days to understand the contract, and that was after printing out every single page and laying it down on the ground and studying it with with immaculate detail. But right now, in under an hour, we've been able to get so much of that information very quickly. The technical approach: equipment specification. ABC Ltd will provide all equipment meeting or exceeding solicitation requirements. Portable toilets, 440 units. Tank capacity, 65 gallons. What you see happening here is that the tool is now giving the government back exactly what they want. They said they wanted 440 units. Now we are telling them, hey, listen, we're going to provide you with 440 units. It's not saying, we're going to provide you with 500. A lot of the time, what you're doing in the technical is giving them back what they asked for. And that's precisely what we are doing here. Hand washing stations, grey water tanks, servicing plan, all that stuff has been put together. Now, again, pricing, check that out. We have pricing all here. Contract value, about $5 million. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask it to format this document. I would like you to format this document like an expert on Word. Make sure the cover page is great with the table of contents and appropriate page numbers. Okay, so I'm just giving it some of that context. It's going to fill out everything, but I'm also going to attach a photo. I'm going to just call this my logo. Let's just attach any picture that I see here, and I'm going to say and use the logo attached. Okay, so let's see what happens here. This actually takes a bit of time because it's going to begin to format. It says, I understand you'd like me to format the documents we created into a professional Word document. So let's see. Okay, it's saying creating a properly formatted Word document requires specific formatting tools that I don't have access to. Okay, so now it gave me the instructions. I would like you to format it here and not on Word. Guys, this is why communication is super important. Wow. This is why communication is super important, and that's just because, like, when I said I wanted it to format it on Word, it thought I wanted it to do it on Microsoft Word. So now what we see happening is that this document is being formatted right before our eyes. And again, I have a system, a step-by-step system that I actually use to get this into better shape. But right now, like, this is actually amazing. Just seeing how this is being presented. Can you just throw a 1 in the chat if you think that this is just great? Past performance is being created right before your eyes. You know, like, if you had that information, by the way, you just throw it in the chat and it would. Management approach, contingency planning, price proposal. Just look at that. And this is the power of using these tools. It's just giving you that information very nicely, except for some mess going on around here. But one thing I'll tell you is that if in the past you were confused about how to break down a government contract, you were confused about how to possibly find subcontractors, or you had no idea how you were going to put your proposal together, I think that this video today using Genspark would ease whatever concern that you have. Guys, that's all I have for today. If you're looking to join our inner circle, I would love to meet. There's a link in the description. Join our school community. I'll be happy to welcome you there personally. Have a great night.